guys. Starting my first YouTube video today. I'm gonna do just what I normally would wear on a daily basis if I were going out. But obviously no one's going anywhere right now, so I've kind of locked myself in my room with my favorite things, which is my makeup, my toys, my life. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'll try and give as much of a detail of what the product is that I'm using, because I'm not sure how this YouTube thing's gonna work, but we're gonna give it a go. So the first thing I'm gonna do is apply Lip Smart. I would show this to you guys, but the tube has no writing left on it because I use it so much, it's all worn off. So I'm gonna start to put this on. I like to let this sit while I'm doing the rest of my makeup. It's the best moisturizer and lip plumper. So I'll let that sit while I do the rest of my makeup. So this morning, what I normally do is wash my face when I wake up and apply Rofade, which is a prescription medication to help with rosacea because I am so red. And then after that, I apply Revision's Vitamin C Plus as an antioxidant to help brighten my skin. And then lastly, I apply Revision IntelliShade True Physical. So the True Physical is an antioxidant, so it's anti-aging. It's a moisturizer, and it has a little bit of color, so it gives a little bit of tint. It gives me enough coverage to where I feel comfortable going to work with just a little bit of mascara put on. So that's what I have on right now. You can see it's a little bit dewy because it's a little bit later in the afternoon. So I'm a little bit oily, but we're gonna put some powder on top of that to get rid of the shine. So the first thing that I start with is foundation. I know a lot of people have different opinions about this, whether they do their eyes first or do the foundation first. Honestly, the only reason when I would apply my eye makeup first would be if I was doing like a super smoky eye where I expected a lot of fallout and a lot of a mess. So that's the only time that I would do my eyes first. So typically I do foundation first. So that's where we're going to start. I currently, and let's be real, for the past couple of years have been loyal to one foundation. Because I feel like it works the best for my skin because I'm oily. So things tend to rub off or move throughout the day, especially around my nose area because I suffer with allergies. So I'm constantly wiping my nose throughout the day. And then of course, just doing things throughout the day like drinking, eating, foundation tends to move from around my mouth. But this has been the best. It gives a really good medium to full coverage depending on how you apply it. It does not have sunscreen, so you always want to make sure to apply a sunscreen underneath it first. And that's my child banging on the door. So I apply it to my hand first. And then I apply with a Real Technique sponge. Let me go get her. You gotta go with Sissy for a little while, okay?
No.
Yep. So here is real life. My child will not leave me alone, so I can film this by myself. So I'm applying it with a sponge. I feel like this gives better coverage or more consistent coverage than a brush because I don't have to go back and do damage control when I have brush strokes. And I just pat it on to give the best coverage. You don't want to brush with the sponge. You're just kind of pushing it into the skin and stippling until you get the coverage that you want. I'm a little broken out right now because Corona. Stress. I think I'm touching my face more because I'm not working. So the areas that I really try and make sure to get, because I always notice that they're not necessarily covered as well as they should be, is the area around my nose, around my lips. And when there's hormonal fluctuations, we tend to get red around our nose and our mouth. So it's things like weddings, if I'm doing a bride or a mother of the bride, I know to make sure that those areas are taken care of because we tend to get red there when we get emotional. Alright, so this is my foundation. As you can see, it's super good coverage, but it's not super dramatic. Like, I feel like you can kind of still see my skin through it, so I'm not completely whited out. But we'll build on the coverage too with concealer and powder and contour and highlight and blush and all those good things. So the next thing that I'm going to do is my concealer. I use Tarte, the Shape Tape. It is pretty much my holy grail. I don't really venture out and use anything else because I don't feel like it's necessary when something works so well. And I apply it pretty heavy-handedly in sort of like a V shape. Again, I use the same sponge because I feel like it gives the best application. I start to stipple it to move it around. I also use this as my eyeshadow primer. So again, using those stippling motions because I don't want to drag the product anywhere. I just want it to kind of be where it is, but blend it out so that you don't see any harsh lines. Alright, and then I'll take whatever's left on the sponge and just sort of touch these areas to brighten them up. Right above the cupid's bow, down the bridge of the nose, right on the center of the forehead. So when you see, it's kind of like, it just gives a little bit more brightness right there in those areas that I want to come forward. So anything that you want to come forward or look lighter, and then anything that you want to recede or look smaller, like here, you'll see later we're going to contour. So after this, I don't like a cream contour on a daily basis. I just feel like it's too much and it's unnecessary. So I'm going to set everything now with powder. The powder that I've been using for a long time is the Laura Mercier, the translucent powder. I don't know if you guys can see it, it's kind of dirty. It's more on the expensive side. So another, I do like it because it's fine. And here comes Lainey with Elsa. Give me one sec. It's fine. It lasts all day. I generally don't have time throughout the day to touch up my makeup, so I don't feel the need to have to do that when I use this powder. I do use this all over my face, including under my eyes and on my eyelids. And then I'll go back and use some other brightening tools underneath my eye later. But this is just to give a nice foundation so that we can get going with everything else. The under eye, I use 4 different things, not on a daily basis, but if I was really wanting to put myself together. I'll show you guys the last step later and what I like to do just to give a really big, like, pow, like, my under eyes nice and bright. So next is contour. I generally stick to this routine no matter whether I'm doing my own makeup or someone else's. It just works the best for me. It kind of makes sense, the way that I sort of build the face and put everything together. So the contour that I always use for myself when I'm fair, so when I don't have a spray tan, because let's face it, I never really have a tan, a real tan. So it's by NARS, and it is in the color Laguna. It's just a really good matte medium to light brown that I can use to contour my cheekbones and sort of like my forehead as well. So what I do is I sort of make a crazy face, which I think we all do when we put our makeup on. And the way that I'm doing it is really from the top of my ear, right here, and then aiming down towards the corner of my mouth. Now, obviously, I'm not going to take that line all the way down to the corner of my mouth because that would just look ridiculous. But just sort of like focusing most of the color here and then blending down into that area. And I'm using the NARS Ida brush. This is like the easiest, most foolproof way to apply contour because it really does all of the work for you. I've had this brush for like 6 years. It's the bomb.com. It just works. So it's good to apply. It's really easy. You can look at the shape of it. It's in rough shape, guys, sorry. But you can apply it and then blend at the same time. So I apply it in this sort of angled stripe. And then what I do is go back and shimmy on either side of the line to help blend it out so that it's not such a sharp, harsh line. And really I'm doing more blending on the top of it because I don't mind that harsh line right there so much because I feel like it makes my face look thinner. Alright, and then next I'm going to apply highlighter. So the one that I like to use when I'm my fairest is Mary Luminizer. So it's a really pretty highlighter on super fair skin. I think I discovered this from Caroline Craddock, from her makeup artist, using it on her. It's really, really pretty. I can't find my brush. Here we go. Alright, so the places I like to apply highlight are sort of that area, it's kind of blinding, the area right underneath where I normally conceal or off to the side, and then around on top of my brow. So I'm applying the most, and same thing on this side. And then I do a little bit on the cupid's bow, a little bit on the nose, and then a little bit on the forehead, sort of whatever's left over. So you can see how pretty it is. It has like these super golden flecks, but it's almost like it's part of your skin. So it's not too powdery. Alright, next is blush. So I'd say 90% of the time I would wear matte blush, and I like to use matte blush on clients as well because I feel like it looks more natural. And if people have to wear their makeup for a long period of time, it looks better. If you're using anything with shimmer or glitter in it, it tends to settle into the creases, into the pores, especially on your more mature clients. So I feel like your matte blushes are going to be a lot more forgiving. That being said, today I'm not using matte blush. I'm going to go a little bit different. So the two that I'm using are Hot Mama by The Balm. This one's really pretty. It's like a peach with super pretty gold flecks. I wouldn't say it's really glitter, because I don't love glitter and blush. And then I like an angled brush for blush because I feel like it's more precise, and I'm always trying to focus on making my face everything look like brighter and bring the attention upwards and outwards. So I don't apply it right. I mean, my cheeks, I have enough cheeks. I don't feel like I really need to draw any more attention there. So I like to focus on the outside of things. So I sort of marry all of my contour, highlight, and blush together into one. I feel like it looks more natural when they're all sort of blended together. And then if I want to get cray, I'm going to use a little bit of NARS Orgasm. These two I feel like work really well together because they're both sort of in the same family. This one's a little bit more pink and not peach, and it has more reflective properties in it, like more gold and more iridescent in it. So I just apply a tiny bit on top of that because it is super intense. So see, everything kind of just sort of starts to blend in together, so you don't see everything separately, which I really like. Alright, next is brows. If I'm going to be completely honest, this is my least favorite part of putting on makeup. If I could skip it, I would, but I don't have any brows. Well, I do, but they're super light, and I like for them to be darker, especially if I'm putting eye makeup on. So the product that I've been using, I've used quite a bit of like different things that they have out there, some pencils. This one's really good because it's a pomade, so I feel like it also sort of tames my brows at the same time and gives a super sculpted look. I like to use a MAC angled brush. I have a couple of these because I also use it for my liner. Where is it? So it looks like this. It's pretty small. And then the shade of the brow pomade that I'm using is Taupe, if you can see it. It's good for pretty much anybody. I mean, your brunette clients are going to have, like, ideally more of a brow, so you don't need to build a brow as much as I do, or shape a brow. You just sort of need to sculpt it a little bit and bring it out a little bit more and refine it so that it looks really good with the rest of the makeup. Brows are complicated. Like I said, if I didn't have to do this every day, I would not. I'm trying to do this so you guys can see. I like to build this clean line underneath here and sort of create the shape. I always want the tail of your brow to be a little bit darker than the rest of it. Sort of outline everything first. She was supposed to be napping. That's how this was supposed to go. It's not working out so well. She's extra mad. And then in here, I just sort of feather up. I've had my eyebrows microbladed before, which I really liked. But you have to keep up with it. I don't fill my brows in every day, but I feel like it's necessary when I'm going to put a full face of makeup on. Because you can see the difference. It's quite a difference. I'd like to say this brow is my trouble brow. That's what I was about to say, but honestly, both of them are trouble. This one I feel like is always a little bit fuller, and then this one's always a little bit lower. So we're constantly like having to reassess my Botox plan because I don't know. We're just trying to figure out what's going to get my brows highest, but keep them looking similar because they both like to live their own lives, their separate lives. So you're not going to be able to see this one when I'm putting it on, but pretty much same steps. I'm outlining the bottom. And then just going to blend into the top. And then just using whatever's left over on the inner corner, because I don't want that to be as dark as my tail or my arch. You don't have to buy Anastasia. I think I just wanted to try this. It is really good, but I feel like NYX has one that's really nice that I've used before. I've also used the NYX brow pencil, which is really good. It does tend to run out pretty quickly though. I feel like the Anastasia, I don't know if there's more product or if I'm using less product when I use that, but I feel like it did last a little bit longer. And then after I do this, I'm going to go back. I already did it on this eye, but I'll go back with the spoolie and just fan it out so that it looks like more of a natural brow and not like I painted it on. I feel like it sort of marries the pomade with the brow. Alright, so my least favorite part is done. I don't feel like it's necessary to do a brow gel on a daily basis. If you have somebody with super unruly brows, then of course, go for it. Or if there's someone who touches their face a lot, or their makeup has to last a really long time, or it's super humid, I would say go for it. I don't touch my face when I have makeup on. I try to remember not to, so I don't feel like it's necessarily a concern of mine, so I don't use it on a daily basis. But Anastasia has a really good one. Their clear brow gel is really good. So next is probably my favorite part, which is my eyes. Normally, if I was just doing my makeup, I would stick with the Lorac Pro Matte palette, which looks like this. It's my go-to, like, every day, as you can see. I love that corduroy color, especially for under eye. It is, I don't really use that purple color a whole lot, or these two white colors, but the rest of them are, like, it's really good quality, it's really good colors. They're pretty neutral, which I like. I don't tend to love a super warm eye or a super ashy eye, but this one is pretty perfect because it's neutral. So the first thing I'm going to grab, because I like to start with my transition color first. So this latte color is like the perfect transition color for my skin tone. And that is, let's see if I can do this color right here. It's just a little bit darker than my skin tone. And then the brush that I'm using is a big fluffy blending brush. And I'm just taking this, doesn't have to be a super precise application, but I'm going to put it right above my crease. And the way that I always try to explain to people how to blend their eyeshadow is doing windshield wiper motions. And then small circles. So this will be my transition shade from whatever I put on my lid. And then I'll put a darker color sort of like in this outer V side. So this just helps everything to transition together and blend super well together. I tend to like matte shades for eyeshadows, except for maybe a little shimmer on the lid. I feel like it lasts longer. It's more forgiving. It doesn't tend to crease as bad. Now, with that being said, I feel like the Tarte Shape Tape is a really phenomenal eyeshadow base. When I go to wash my makeup off at night, it's still in place. Like, it doesn't move, it doesn't crease, even though I'm oily. I've really been wanting to try the P. Louise eyeshadow base, just because people rave about it so much, so I might try that soon, see how that goes. But I'm really happy with the Tarte Shape Tape. So I'm not being very precise with how I'm putting this on. Even if I wanted to be, I'm not sure I could be with this brush. Alright, so next I'm going to start defining or contouring the outer V of my eye. I'm still using a fluffy brush, but this one is more concentrated, so I'll get a little bit more pigment payout. Like when I'm packing it on, you'll see. Let's see, what color do I want to use? So what I'll do, I'm going to use the corduroy color from the Lorac Pro palette. It's this one right here. And then I'll build into something else. So I really just kind of stipple this where I want it, which is along the lash line. Sorry, you can't see. And in this outer corner. And then I'll sort of clean my brush off and then start blending this inwards just a little bit. Upwards and outwards. Same motions, windshield wiper, small circles. These shadows just blend super well. That's about as much color as I want with that one. I'm going to do the same thing on the other eye. So I apply it where I want it to, and then blend it out from there. Either blending it upwards and outwards or inwards. Using a combination of both right now. And this is my favorite blending brush because it's super soft. I think it was a Morphe brush. There's no way I could tell you what it is now because all of the writing is gone off of it. If you invest in good brushes, they'll last you a long time. I think most things with makeup, at least the tools, are an investment that you can keep for years if you take good care of them. So this is looking pretty good. I'm going to go in with a darker brown from the KKW Mario palette. So this is the color, I think it's Loyalty. It's this darker brown right here. It's a really pretty neutral brown. And then I'm going to apply even less of this just to this outer corner right here. Just to give some more depth and definition right there. like I said, I want everything to be upwards and outwards, so I'm really focusing on getting the darker colors on the outer corners. You want everything to go from light to dark to create that ideal eye shape for everyone, and so that you can appear more awake and alert. I'm going to take a clean blending brush. See, a bigger one. This is an angled one. And I like to use these just to bring everything else together before I start applying shimmer or highlight on my eye. My favorite highlight for my eye is Makeup Geek. It's called Shimma Shimma. It's a really pretty, like, vanilla. It maybe has some pink undertones, but you'll see when I put it on my eye, it's just like a good, it's hard to find in like a stark, not a stark white, but a good blend of something bright enough, but that's not white, and that blends, and that gives a little bit of reflection. So I'm using a flat, this is a MAC 242 brush, and I just apply this on the tail of my brow. See how pretty that is. It's super natural, but gives you a little burst of color. And then same thing right here on my inner corner, just to bring a little bit of tension there. Same thing on the other eye. And then probably my favorite part of makeup is putting a little color on the lid. I might even put some glitter on it today for you guys. So I'm going to go back. This is one of my favorite colors to put on my lid. It is the KKW palette. This is the color, is it Armenian? I think it's Armenian. It's so pretty. And then I had two of those MAC 242 brushes, so I'm using this one for my lid. It's a super yellow gold, so it really brings out the blue in your eyes. I'm going to use some Fix Plus to make it even a little bit more impactful. If I can find it, here it is. So I just mist the brush, and then I just press it onto the lid. And I think with the Fix Plus, it sort of turns into a foil shadow. It's really pretty. And then same thing on the other eye. I'm just staying close to my lash line because I really don't want this to take over. I just want it to be a little hint of color. So just staying really in this small area right here so you can see. I don't like to go up too high with it either. So it sort of bring everything together. Alright, next, let's see. I'm going to do some powder underneath my eye. I feel like shadow as liner underneath is a lot more forgiving than using a pencil or a gel. It's not as harsh, it's easier to blend. You can smoke things out. So I'm going to go back with that same color that I used, the darkest one. This is Loyalty. And I have a flat stippling brush. It's a chisel. So it's really good to apply it and then to go back and blend. I'm trying to do this so that you guys can see. don't go further than like the color of my eye, because I feel like it just makes them look too small. I try to stay thicker, like keep the line thicker on this outside towards the corner, and then get it a little bit thinner on the inside so that it brightens everything up and opens up my eyes. It's not quite as dark as I want it, so I'm going to go back with the Lorac Pro, the color chocolate. This one right here. And then I'm just going to focus on this outer corner, just to add a little bit more depth, just touching it. There we go, it's a little bit darker. And I'll clean this off and then just sort of work everything in together. Just backwards and forwards motions. So at this point I'm going to take my, because I do have a little bit of fallout under my eye, I'm going to take this big fluffy brush and just sort of clean everything off. And then I take a pointed fluffy brush and I use the MAC Pro Emphasize powder underneath my eyes, and this gives like the best brightness to the eye. This is what I use to, this is like the second step that I use to brighten everything, and I pull it down a little bit further too. Alright, and then I'm finally going to do a little bit of liner on top. I like to use gel liner. So the one that I have today is the MAC Black Track. I'm running terribly low on it, so I need to order some more. I do like Stila's. I feel like theirs is a really good quality, and it's a big pan, so it lasts a while, which is really good. But I like MAC too. I'm kind of loyal to MAC. So I cannot do this without pulling my eye. I know a lot of people can. I can do it on other people without pulling their eyes, but for some reason I have to pull mine. So here we go. I think the easiest way to do this, or to learn to do this, is to make small, short strokes to create one single line, instead of trying to draw one line all at once, because then it's probably going to vary in thickness and consistency. And I like to keep the line thicker towards the outside corner, and then thinner towards the inside. I don't like to do anything super thick in general, because my eyes are hooded, so it just sort of hides it. And then when I put lashes on too, the lash band will sort of make it a little bit thicker. I'm going to put mascara on next. The mascara that I'm using right now, I'm like 100% loyal to it. It's the L'Oreal Voluminous Primer first, and then the either the L'Oreal Lash Paradise is really good, or just the L'Oreal Voluminous in Carbon Black is my go-to. I feel like you can, I've used Dior, I've used Lancome, MAC, but I feel like the L'Oreal is the best, because my lashes need a little bit of bulking up, so I feel like it gives a lot of thickness. I also feel like this primer helps to protect my lashes against like the 3 coats that I like to put on, because my lashes still stay super long and they're not falling out. The only L'Oreal mascara that I have today is waterproof, and I don't want to put waterproof on. So I'm using the Tarte Lights Camera Lashes. I feel like it's pretty decent. I compare everything to the L'Oreal, and nothing is the L'Oreal though. And I don't put the white on my bottom lashes because my bottom lashes are riding the struggle bus, so just apply like one coat of the black. Alright, so while that's drying, and while I'm doing my lips, I'm going to apply my lash glue to my lashes. I just have some Demi Wispies just to add a little bit of fullness. My favorite glue to use is the Duo right now. I am going to order some different stuff to try. If you guys have a favorite, let me know. So I'm going to put this on. So I just do a pretty thick coat because I like to let it get tacky, super tacky, like almost dry before I put it on, because if not, I feel like that's when people really struggle with it, is they put it on when it's too wet, and then it starts to slide around, and then your makeup gets messed up, and then you start to panic, and you're just like, oh god. So if you just let it get tacky first, like super tacky, like a good 5, maybe not 5 minutes, 4 to 5 minutes on the lash. And I've already trimmed these because they're a little bit too long for my eyes, the way that they come. So while that's getting tacky, I'm going to do my lips. I still have the Lip Smart on, which I'm fine with. It'll just give a little bit of moisture underneath what I'm using. So the lip pencil that I'm going to use, because I love a lip pencil, like this is probably my one thing I couldn't live without, lip pencil and mascara, is in the color Soft Spoken. It's by NYX. I feel like these are super good quality liners for $4. And they stay all day long. So I start on the bottom and then make my way to the top. And then I blend in just a little bit in the corners. It's a good neutral, looks good with a lot of different lip colors. So I'm going to apply the NYX Lingerie liquid lipstick in the color Satin Ribbon. This one's a really pretty neutral. I'm going to go over the liner just a little bit and start to blend it in so there's no harsh line. And once this dries, I'll touch it up with some, maybe a little pop of lightness right in the center, and then a gloss over the top. I love the Charlotte Tilbury Kim KW. It's a good neutral for when I'm tan or pale. So it just gives a little bit of creaminess to the lips, because I like the NYX liquid lipsticks, but they do tend to be a little bit drying. They don't tend to last as long. My favorite formula ever of liquid lipsticks is the Stila. It is the best. It lasts all day long. It's not drying. smells good. Maybe I'll use one of those in my next videos. And then I'm going to go over the top with a classic for anybody who loves makeup. You guys know NARS Turkish Delight. When you know, you know. It's such a good one. It's like the perfect light pink neutral that you could pop on every day. So pretty. Alright, now we're going to see if my lashes are ready. You know what? I could probably set everything first because these guys aren't quite ready. So the setting spray that I use is Urban Decay's All Nighter because, like I said earlier, I do tend to be oily. So I feel like this is the best to keep everything in place. So I'm going to set everything. Make sure when you're setting that your mascara is dry, because if not, it will fall, and that's not fun. So my last few steps are going to be to put my lashes on, and then I'll show you guys the last step that I put under my eyes just to make them a little bit brighter. I know they look crazy bright already, but the product that I'm going to show you guys is something that I carry with me in my purse along with like whatever lipstick or gloss I'm wearing, and I pop it on just as like a touch up in between if I'm like going from the restaurant to a bar or, you know, whatever it is I'm doing. I just like to touch everything up. So my lashes are probably just about ready. See how pretty that gold is? It's such like a good yellow gold. And it'll stay too, because I feel like the problem that I have with a lot of shimmers or metallics or anything with glitter in it is it creases so much quicker than a matte would. So sometimes I apply these with my fingers. Sometimes I like to think I'm fancy, and I'll try to apply it with my eyelash applicator, which I don't have, so fingers it is today. I think the biggest thing with putting on lashes is number one, making sure that the glue is tacky. Number two is the angle. You have to come from above. So again, I'm going to pull my eye, and I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm going to try and make sure that you can. And just sort of patting it into place. The glue was like pretty much perfect as far as dryness goes. So lash just makes everything better while that glue is drying. And then I'm going to put the other one on. So you guys probably won't be able to see this one going on. But it's the same steps. I'm just sort of placing it along the lash line. I actually think I put these on the opposite eye. Whatever. And then a lot of times I like to take them and sort of marry them with my lashes and squeeze. If I had the tool, I could show you guys. The tool is a little bit easier to get in there. This is working fine, the glue. As long as your glue is tacky, they won't give you too much trouble. But again, it just takes practice. It's not something that I just woke up one day and knew how to do. And I always feel like it's easier to do on someone else than to do it on yourself. It's never works out as well. Alright, so my last step while that's drying under my eyes is from a local makeup artist and brand owner who is hysterical and beautiful. But it's Ashley Siebert's Spotlight Concealer. It is a tiny wand, which I love because I can just doop, 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 a couple of dots. And then I like to use my finger for this because I like to keep it sort of in the inside over here. And I just sort of stipple it with my finger to brighten everything up. It just takes a little bit. Stipple it into place. Ta-da! So it looks, I'd say natural, but maybe a little bit more drama than just your average everyday drama. I just wanted to hop on here and do this today because I feel like there's enough going on in the world. We need to feel like a little bit normal, and putting my makeup on makes me feel normal and like I have somewhere to go, even though I can't because I'm stuck at home. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If there's anything else that you guys want to see, let me know. I plan on doing these probably not every day, but maybe a couple of times a week, just to make myself feel a little bit normal. So thanks for watching, and I hope y'all have a great day and take care.